Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Just a couple of thoughts about yesterday's team selection. Thought I'd put in as well. Um, Interesting team that the Boks have gone with. Not many changes. I think we thought Faf would come back. Warwick Galant coming in, for Jesse Kriel there. They really don't have many options at right wing at the moment with the squad they have. So I think that's a fair call. Anyhow, three takeaways from that press conference, which I thought I might share with you and just some thoughts on that. First of all, Warwick Galant selection. I think it's quite clear, they don't have many options. They didn't really bank on Cheslin Colby fracturing his jaw, then Curtly Arendse getting a red card, and Jesse Kriel getting concussed. So that wasn't really on their to-do list, and so they had to come in with another one. They sent Adelaide Fussy back home, the Sharks, to work on some aspects of his game, and they've now also just they've got Warwick Galant there, they've got Vili Leroux there, and they could have used either one of them on the wing as well. But they've gone for Warwick, and I think what they're looking for is some sort of magic the Storm has brought to the game, that synergy between Warwick and Damian Willemse. It worked well for them in URC, and I think what they're hoping for is to get some of the same sort of synergy out of Warwick Galant. And you could see it by the answer, because when Jacques Nienaber was asked, this was what he said.
Yeah, I think it's a nice opportunity for Warwick, and he's been part of us for quite some time. He's played for us wing before in the World Cup. I think against Canada, he played wing for us. And he knows our system as a 15 and as a 14. And obviously, we would have loved to give him an opportunity at 15, but yes, with the bad luck we had at 14. Or right wing this season, if you think about, yes, we lost Cheslin, Sabu is still injured, Curtly got a red card, then we opted to go with JC, he got concussed. So I mean, I think it's impossible to plan for so many injuries in one position. I think it's not our fifth choice, but I mean, it's the fifth level deep that we play our Warwick. So but excited to have him there again and playing for us at 14, and obviously had a good URC. He and Gaza knows each other well. I think Gaza or Damian Willemse has really excelled at 15 this year for us, and he's really taken his opportunity, and he's almost trying to make that position his own, So he's performing well, and like I said, it would have been awesome to give Warwick an opportunity at 15, but he gets his opportunity now because of where we are at right wing. In terms of all the players that we've lost there, that he's going to get an opportunity there. And for us, from a tactical point of view, there's not a big difference between 15 and 14, in our opinion. So if you look at Curtly as well, Curtly plays 15 for the Bulls, but he played 14 for us, and I thought he had an excellent performance there in the two tests that he played. So yeah, pretty much looking forward to the chemistry between Damian and Warwick. They've been playing there for a while.
So looking at that, what Jacques said there, they're obviously looking for some of that synergy from the URC to filter through. Warwick Galant is a fullback. He is the type of player that can spark a bit of a counter-attack, and I think they're looking to that and maybe bringing that and Damian Willemse's attacking abilities into play. They're obviously looking for that synergy. I think the other thing is Warwick is a fullback. His positional play is pretty good, and he knows how to see a gap. So I think, in terms of the fact they don't have Vili, so we might see Damian move to centre as well, or some sort of role in the second half. They've also got Frans Steyn and Elton Yankees on there, so if they want to revert to a more traditional sort of 10-15, they can do that in the second half with the bench they've got now without the 5-3 split. I don't think it's such a big thing that they haven't gone with the 5-3 split. I think it's rather practical. They've gone for looking at Frans Steyn to come in and give him some game time. He hasn't played since May, and I think Elton also needs a bit of game time. It's a fine line for the Boks to keep the guys fit and healthy, and match sharp without games being played at the moment. And I think that if you look at Jacques Nienaber, they've been quite adamant about giving these guys opportunities, and giving them. They don't really have much other option to give them a chance to play, so they're using these opportunities. Whether you should do that at test level, well, I don't think they've really got too much of a choice at the moment. I think they're looking tactically at a couple of things, and there's obviously a couple of things in the Australian game plan they've picked up that we haven't seen, and that's the reason we'll be successful. We'll see, but yeah, I think I'm not too worried about the 6-2 split. It will be back for certain games. I think at the moment they feel the 5-3 is probably going to work better for them, especially with their attacking threat that Australia poses out wide and what they want to do in the second half. I think they probably want to keep Australia pinned in their own half. But yeah, we haven't spoken about Frans Steyn, the fact that he hasn't played since May. Yeah, Jacques had quite a few things to say, and it's maybe easier to just hear it from the horse's mouth. So this is what he said.
Yeah, no, yeah, we like France. Obviously, France had an injury, and like I mentioned, I think when he got injured against Griquas in the Currie Cup, we said, listen, in the Wales series, he needs to get through his rehab, and he's a guy that we will bring into the squad the moment he's done his rehab and he's back to full fitness. So he's actually, before we got him into our squad, he was busy with the preseason with the Cheetahs. So pretty happy with where he's currently at. Obviously, not playing game or having game time, I mean, that's unfortunately where we are in terms of playing rugby championship now, and we, how can I say, we compete internationally in the Southern Hemisphere, but we compete from a club or franchise level in the Northern Hemisphere. So our seasons are a little bit malaligned in terms of that. So, and that's the same thing for France. It's the same thing for Dwayne. You know, there's no club rugby currently where we can let our players play and see where they are currently at. We can only see it in training sessions, and that's why we want to push the training sessions intensity to as high as we can, and as close to match intensity as we can, to make an assessment on the players. And obviously we wouldn't have select France if we don't think that he's up to standard. So yeah, pretty much looking forward to see what France can bring. Obviously Willie, we know what we have in Willie. Willie can, if we're behind like we were at Wales, 18 points down, he can come and change the game for us. We know he can close a game out for us if he has to. But it is a nice opportunity for us to see what France can bring to the party. And we know last year when we played New Zealand in the Rugby Championship, France came on in the last 40 minutes when we beat New Zealand here in Australia. And you know he had an unbelievable game. So we know what he can bring, and he's very experienced. So yeah, just looking forward to see to get France back into the mix and to get him on the park.
Another aspect that needs to require some attention is the Boks poor record. I think they've got a better record against New Zealand in New Zealand than against Australia in Australia. There's a lot to be said about that, of course, but I suppose the fact that they tend to in Australia sort of trip themselves up at every purpose. I mean, not to take anything away from Australia, but I mean, they're only sitting with a 40% record, but 2 out of 2 against the Springboks. So, yeah, in that second test last year, South Africa was totally outplayed. But I had a lot of sympathy for them, given their problems that they had with all the quarantine and bio bubbles and the weeks on end that they were stuck in hotels. I sort of felt for the Boks as well. You know, that it wasn't easy on a number of factors for the Boks there. Still, saying that doesn't excuse some of the losses in the past. And there's been so many times where the Boks have dominated up front, but just haven't got the sort of reward that they wanted. And Australia have stolen the games with tries out of nowhere and just caught the Boks flat-footed. It's almost as if the Boks sort of lose their power when they go to Australia. 2013 was the last time they won. They've won 13% of their games. And it is a tough place to play, but yeah, the Boks should be doing better than that. I think when you listen to the Boks, they obviously know they're not playing down the threat. They know their own record in Australia, as Jacques Nina would put it this way.
No, I would say, listen, we definitely, there's no difference. If you represent your country, and I'm sure Australia will say the same, when you represent your country, if it's against New Zealand, if against Fiji, if it's against Australia, if it's against Namibia, I mean, you want to produce a performance that your country would be proud of. So it's not that we have an eye on New Zealand and then we take a lesser stance against Australia. I just think Australia is tough. You know, it's and I can't talk about 96 and before that. All I know that we as a group have since we've been together since 2018. We've played them 3 times in Australia, and we lost all 3. So it is a tough game. We actually 0% our group. So and it's a big challenge for us, and it probably for us shows the passion that Australia have when they play in front of their home crowd, and for us it's a massive challenge. And we will prepare as best we can to try and get a result. But it is a tough place to come and win for us.
Saying that, I think if you look at the way they played against the All Blacks, they got a lot more width on their ball. They got a lot more sort of meters out wide. They really did well on attack at times. It was up front in the breakdown that they were beaten. So I think there'll be a lot of work done on that. Conversely, Australia were beaten quite a bit in the air by Argentina, and I think the Boks will have seen that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we use the aerial assault quite a lot this weekend. Australia will have worked on it, of course, and they will have new personnel in as well. Expect quite a few changes to their team this week. But still saying that the Boks should do a lot better. And while the Australians, just because of the pure nature of the record, will probably start off as favourites, I think the Boks deserve a shot here. And then if it was, if we're looking at those 2 teams, if the Boks get to sort of use their chances a bit better and get a bit more of their maul going, which they haven't really done that well this season, even though the stats say they've still got the most mauling meters out of any team. We haven't really seen that sort of dominance close to the line that we normally see from the Boks. So if they get that going, and they get their set piece going, Australia's got a way of sort of not getting penalised at the scrum, even though at times they go down a lot more than other teams, especially in the games against the Springboks. So you're hoping that you see a bit more reward for the Springboks in that sense there. But I think the Boks shouldn't feel too bad, and the easiest way in things when it comes to talking about history and poor records, easiest way to change that is to change it and to win on Saturday. So I think they've got a good chance. Okay guys, this format of sort of 3 takeaways was a suggestion by a friend of mine who said it might be something that might be of interest. So let me know if you enjoy it, and if you like it, if there's other things you'd like me to address. I'll definitely have a look at it. Leave it in the comments below. Go and subscribe if you can. It helps keeping this channel running and getting the videos, and gives more opportunity to do these videos if there's an audience out there. So thanks for watching again, and let's hope the Boks get it right this weekend.